Do you set reasonable goals? So one big thing that I've seen with a lot of my students is I always ask them the same question. By the way, lots of water in Los Angeles right now. We are it's been raining a lot out here in California, so streams are running. Usually it's a drought, but yeah, I'm just on a hike here. So I ask my students, what is your goal? What's your target? What's your either target income or target situation you want to be in? You know, a lot of people, generally it's, you know, most people fall into a range of about $5,000 to $10,000 a month passive income, kind of hands off, you know, a couple hours a week. That's a good goal. And that's about the average goal of most people is $10,000. If I had $10,000 a month coming in with only a few hours of work, I would, you know, I'd be able to, then my life would consist of spending time with my family, you know, working out more, being more fit, you know, like I'm trying to look a little better myself. You know, or maybe it would be doing more events or organizing more stuff for friends, whatever that is. But that's a reasonable goal that most people have. But I asked my students this question, and hold on, let me hop over. Boop. Just had to hop over some water. And I'll get crazy answers. I get some students saying they want to make $100,000 a month. That's a big one, or $1 million a year. Or $1 million a month. You know, that's, you know, I think two of the more common things that I see is people want to make $1 million a year, $100,000. That's great. But guess what? You have to set reasonable goals. And if you're making $2,000 a month right now, which is $24,000 a year, if you're making $2,000 a month right now, making $100,000 a month is completely unreasonable. It doesn't make sense, and you are lying. You are lying if you're saying you want to make $100,000 a month, because that's fucking false. And don't lie to me. One thing I don't like is when students lie to me. If you're making $2,000 a month, you don't care about making $1 million a year. You know why? Because if you wanted to people who want to make $1 million a year, they aren't working jobs. They aren't working jobs. They're not working jobs. They're not being paid for their time, because no job you're going to find is going to pay you $100,000 a month. So if you're working a job, and you're saying you want to make $1 million a year, you're lying. Because no job's going to pay you $1 million a year. Now, if you're working a job and you're making $10,000, you know, if you're working a job and let's say you're an executive at a company and you're making, let's say, $25,000 a month. Okay, $25,000 a month. Now, if you tell me you want to make $1 million a year, that's not unreasonable. Because you're already in a position, you're in an executive position that is extremely worthy. $100,000 a month compared to $25,000 a month is a 4 times multiple. And that's an easy shift. Now, in general, the rule of thumb that you want to use when you are thinking of your goals, to create a reasonable goal, is you want to use like a 5x rule of thumb. If you're making $2,000 a month, don't set your goal higher than $10,000 a month. Okay? 5x. If you're making $5,000 a month, don't set your goal higher than making $25,000 a month. Work around that. If you're making $10,000 a month, don't set your goal higher than $50,000 a month. Now, the reason I say this is because your goal is everything. Your goal is going to determine exactly how you run your business. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month, well, that means your business has to pay you a salary, of $10,000 a month. So you have to be, your business has to be making at least $10,000 a month profit. Now, this sounds all simple, right? But it affects things, because if you want to make $100,000 a year, you have to look for, and it's passive, you have to look for areas where you can do that. You have to look for ways that you can do that. You have to find niches that are going to make you that money. You have to find businesses that are going to make you that money. If your business is based, you know, that's why a lot of people want passive income. A lot of people just want to be paid while they, you know, hike around in nature, rant on YouTube. And if that's your passion, you've got to find a business that allows you to do that. It might not be stock trading, because you have to wake up to an alarm clock. It might not be real estate. If you want to travel the world, you're not going to get into real estate probably, because you're going to have to be at auctions or something. So you have to keep all these things in mind. You know, if you're in let's say you're in the MMO space, and you have to you want to network with people or something like that, that's another problem. You know, if you have to sell your clients, let's say you run a hot rod, you want to sell hot rods online. Now, in that case, you're going to probably have to strike, you know, you want to sell hot rods as an affiliate, you're going to have to strike your own deals with car dealerships that sell hot rods, and say, hey, if I sell this car for $25,000, you're going to give me $2,500. You're going to give me 10% of that, right? So, you know, you're going to have to make connections if that's going to be your business. And those connections are based on you being in a location. So no matter what, you've got to set reasonable goals, okay? Don't set them more than 5 times. I can't stress this enough. And the other reason why, so here's the second reason why. First of all, first reason is it determines where you're going to go. It determines what you're going to do. You set a goal, you figure out what you're going to do, where you're going to go. Now, the second reason is it also gives you options. If your goal is to make $10,000, if you're making $2,000 a month and you want to make $10,000 a month, there are multiple ways. You know, you've opened, you know, now you can have other options of getting there, or what have you. The more you know, you can even move up in your job. If you are working at Jamba Juice making $2,000 a month and you want to make 10, you could become a regional manager of Jamba Juice stores, and you could work operations in a Jamba Juice distribution center or something like that, and you can work a more executive role and get paid $10,000 a month. But if you're but the more defined you get, the more you realize what your true calling is. If your goal is to make $10,000 a month and not have to go to a job, then that changes things, right? You have to be an entrepreneur, or you have to do something that you can do from home, like sales. Shit. Jumped across the stream there. So it changes things. The other reason is because if you set unreasonable goals, if you're making $2,000 a month and you say you want to make $1 million a month, chances are you don't have any possibility of reaching that. And it's going to make it a lot harder for you to stay motivated when you never make any progress towards your goal. And that's going to be hard because you're so far away from your goal. It feels impossible to reach, and it's going to be demotivating. But you always need to set a goal. You always need to set a goal. Tape that shit. Write it on a Post-it note. Tape that shit on your computer screen. Tape that shit on your fucking mirror, in your bathroom. Do whatever it takes, but set that goal. Are you moving towards that? If you're telling me you're making $2,000 a month and you want to make $100,000 a month, you're not working a job. Just remember, don't lie. Yeah, it's fine if you lie to me, but don't lie to yourself, because the only person you're holding back is yourself at the end of the day if you set unreasonable goals. So I hope that helps. Not sure if anybody finds that interesting or reasonable, but let me know in the comments if that's helpful, because really I'm trying to address issues that I see. I see people's minds are fucked up, and the biggest reason why people sabotage themselves, the number one reason why people are not successful in business or meeting their financial goals is, I mean, for one, they don't have goals, but it's all mental. It's all mental. People find ways, jumped across another stream. People find ways to hold themselves back because they have the wrong mental conditioning. And in these YouTube videos, the most important thing is to approach everything with the right mindset. If people approach things with goals in mind, if people built skills, if people did all of these things that I talk about, everything would be a lot different. And actually, one of the biggest focuses of some of the most powerful videos within my training course, so I thought about it a lot, but are some of the mindset videos. I don't advertise this because nobody wants to talk about mindset related stuff, but I actually do some within my training course. I have in particular one very powerful hypnosis. Yes, it's kind of weird. I know I'm a freaky deek. There's one video where I lead, and I was wondering about putting people through this, but I hypnotize. It's a video, it's a hypnosis, it's an exercise, and I don't call it hypnosis because nobody wants to be hypnotized. It's bad marketing, right? But I actually lead people through exercise where I hypnotize them. I don't call it that though, and the whole point of the exercise is to help people overcome their limiting beliefs, because the biggest reason why students aren't successful with my program, everything I teach works. I'm teaching people how to build skills. I'm telling people to build their Facebook channels, the YouTube pages, their Google blogs, and millions of people become millionaires from doing the stuff I say. But or have become millionaires, just running internet businesses the way I describe. But the reason people aren't successful generally is they sabotage themselves. And this is actually, I believe, the most pivotal video in my course, which is where I hypnotize people and help people overcome whatever's blocked them in other programs. How many of you have actually purchased other trainings on internet marketing or learning how to build your own business? And let me know in the comments, what other trainings or what other programs you have purchased, because I'd be interested in understanding. And why didn't it work out? By the way, I read all the comments. I don't know if you guys see me, but I read all the comments. I respond to a lot of comments. I don't respond to stupid questions though. I respond to interesting questions, but not stupid questions. If you can Google it, don't ask it in my comment section. Everything will be hidden from you. If a lot of the program, chances are a lot of the training programs, the educational programs you've taken work. And chances are a lot of the knowledge is actually fairly good, or it can work at least. But what's missing is your approach to things, or your focus, or maybe you stopped too early, or stopped applying the methods, or what have you. But a lot of training programs work. It's just in the application, it's in the focus, it's in the consistency of taking action. And a lot of people sabotage themselves because they're either uninterested by the material, or they're uninterested in the material, or usually they're not confident that it works. Have you ever taken a program where you really believed in it at first, and then as time went on and you weren't seeing successful results, you started losing confidence in the program working, and you stopped taking action? That's called self-sabotage, and that's all mental. It's all mental, and that's what causes shiny object syndrome. People jump around, and ultimately it comes down to confidence. Everything comes down to confidence, ultimately. Everything comes down to confidence. You may be confident in some areas of your life, but maybe not in others. So you can be a confident person in sports and social life, but maybe not in business, and you find ways to sabotage yourself. So I lead people through mindset exercises to make sure they stay focused and they keep working on applying the tactics that are proven and that work. But again, consistency and focus are king. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave something in the comments. I love hearing what you guys say. Sign up for my course. There should be a link in the description or somewhere, or maybe you'll even see some of my ads. And make sure to sign up. There's a webinar or training or something somewhere around here, and sign up. Get started with my program. If you're looking to make a change in your life, I guarantee you this. I've taken so much time and effort to make this the best training course you can ever take. I've taken hundreds and hundreds of training courses myself. I've done everything I can to bring the best of everything together, but also make it exciting for you and make sure that you follow through even if you don't want to. That's why I hypnotize you, right? So sign up for my course. The hypnosis honestly is worth 10 times the value alone. And I tell my students to go through it every single week until they're making money, because it's that powerful. So look forward to seeing you guys in the course. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel, subscribe somewhere around here. Chances are you are, if you're watching this video. And let's interact. Thanks for believing in yourself. It's all about you. So have a good day. Have a good weekend. Signing out. Peace.